dick bird, 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 dick bird. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dick Bird Nest. This is going to be one of our episodes that we're going to do, and that's still blurry, right?
Yeah, blurry.
We don't have to start over again. I'm going to keep this.
Can you get
I can actually do that, yeah.
Get someone to draw one on a piece of paper.
Anyway, so welcome again to the Dick Bird. This is going to be one of the few segments I do, and we're going to call this Valar Morghulis. What this basically is this is me, and I'd like to in cohorts of crime, Sean McBeardy, Coach Sean McBeardy, actually.
There you go.
And Edmund of the Mund clan. We're friends, and we have been involved with, heavily involved in watching Game of Thrones. Beginning? Did you guys start at the very beginning?
I was, I think it was season 2 was going on when I started 1. Okay. So by the time 2 was over, I was ready to go right into it. And then I rewatched like 1 and 2 over again before 3, and I think I watched it like 4 times before 3 came out.
Yeah. Ed, were you in it right from the jump?
I remember seeing the trailer for it. Then before season 2, I was at home and I was just laying there. I was bored and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I was just hooked.
Sean, okay. Do you have like a fan running or something?
No.
I actually I did the same through the first season, and then one of the people at the time asked me if I had ever seen it between first and second season, and he gave me a DVD with the first one on it. So I watched either that or he gave me, like, I had his HBO pass or something like that. But anyway, I watched the whole season in like a few days, and it was like the best thing I've ever seen. And then of course I watched it like, a couple times before season 2, and then just been on it ever since. Just like we've been. So what we represent as 3 people that have watched this show is 3 types of fandom for Game of Thrones, and I am 100% in on the whole A Song of Ice and Fire lore and world building, and I have read all the books, and I have multiple books on the history of Westeros and other shit like that. Edmund, you watch the show, of course, and you haven't read the books, but you've done a lot of YouTube channel research on not just Game of Thrones, but A Song of Ice and Fire itself, right?
Pretty much the books, the cliff notes on everything.
Okay, so Sean has also been involved in YouTube, but you're specifically almost all just the show.
Yeah, because I get all my dumb information from you.
It's probably, I'm sure you know enough just from hearing us fucking talk about it.
Well, yeah, why should I search it when you're just going to tell me anyway? And I'm like, I don't believe it.
But now it's been, how long has it been since the show ended? When did it end?
Was Memorial Day before that, so 2 months, say, almost.
I know when that was, but for the people that don't know, why don't you remind us?
Was it
May something?
May 19th?
I have no clue.
I think it was May 19th.
Yeah,
you just got
right.
I had to watch it on my phone. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Wait, it was horrible watching over your phone, or just horrible because it was horrible?
It was both.
Well, all right, spoilers. Yeah, so okay, it's been a few months, and so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I know we all had like initial reactions off the jump, whether it had been positive or negative, but now that kind of the dust has settled, and I just want to gauge everybody's reaction on just, what you thought of the whole experience of watching the show. And I know that we had a lot of fun. We even watched I know Sean lives in Boston right now, so when he was living around here, he was able to make it up a few times for, group watching, and we had, nice barbecues and cookouts, and we had a fourth member of our party that showed a few times, and he went missing. So R.I. Lennon, not the singer. I mean, R.I.P. him too, but
he's out there somewhere with a little bit of vodka.
He's still looking for that vodka.
That vodka, yeah.
That's a funny story. So he came one time, for anybody that cares. We were drinking, and he was supposed to bring, liquor, and he brought up, I had like a handle of vodka, but it had maybe like 2 drinks left in it, enough for him. not even, and we were liquorless that night. Anyway, R.I.P. John.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah,
So-
I gotta say, like doing those trips with you guys, because I was in Philly, so maybe about an hour ride for me to get to where you were. It was the best ride ever because I got to think about it on a black road and just mold the whole episode. Now, when I watch it at home, I'm just like, I got tomorrow, and I'm like this sleeping. No, you couldn't fall asleep.
Just immediately on your phone, everybody's bitching or whatever.
Depends on the episode. I had to walk out and just walk home in silence. I couldn't talk.
You did. I was like, hey, Ed, I'll give you a ride. No, I'm good.
So after we watched the Red Wedding episode, Edmund, who lived pretty close, but close enough where maybe I could have gave him a ride home, and he refused the ride home and walked because he needed to ponder life and what it all meant.
I was in shock.
Half the cast killed in one shot.
I had to say that might have been my favorite episode, as in a shocking episode. Like,
It's definitely shocking, and I do wish that I had known about it or not known about it because I read about it in the book. So it was cool watching it through your guys' eyes, knowing that you didn't know but I knew. It's very hard for me to not talk shit too.
I like to think that that's what's. I never realized how much you knew. Like there were so many times. Like I think even after Joffrey died, it would like resonate. And I think to myself a couple days later, I'm like, holy shit! Wait, Kyle knew that the whole time that was coming.
Yeah.
So in a way, I've always kind of felt bad for the book readers because I feel like I've gotten like the best of both worlds, where it was a complete shock to me, and then I can explore the lore and everything else after that happened in the books, and it makes it all the more enjoyable at the same time. But
yeah, I mean, it was kind of a bummer knowing for the show, but also, I mean, I experienced all that already reading it, and if you like to read and your imagination to kind of think about, especially since I read them after I watched the first episode, so it was really easy to imagine in my head like what everybody looked like and what the setting was. So actually, I enjoyed reading them after after knowing most of the characters and stuff. But anyway, we digress. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I was saying, we're going to, so the dust is all settled, and overall your experience, I know we maybe had some reservations about the way it ended, but now that we're over the initial shock of that, did it overall your experience, still a good one though? Yes, no? We'll start with anybody want to just jump in.
Since beer's right prepared.
It was good, but I can't really say it wasn't great. That's for sure.
The ending. You mean
Yeah,
just
the ending. Just the ending. I mean, I liked it, but just none of it. All the stuff that we learned about John and this and that didn't really matter.
Right. Yeah, and I also have I have my reservations about that. I didn't really like it as well. But I just mean like the overall, like from the series, like from season 1 to season 7. Like
I thought you just meant the last season.
No.
No, from season, every season as a series, amazing.
Okay.
I can't take that away from season 1 all the way through, even some boring episodes that were just building, but it had me every week where I knew where I was at 9 o'clock on a Sunday, either at your house or watching it somewhere, It was definitely. If everybody asks me, should I watch it? Definitely.
Would you?
It was like football. Like it was, and it trumped football. I think.
Yeah.
I watched Game of Thrones before I watched football.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, please, not to bring up any political figures during the show. Okay. So, yeah, I on Sundays, man, and I would always try to get around it for football. Game of Thrones too. Like I would be bummed out if I had to work Sunday night, because it was almost just as important for me to get over to your house and watch Game of Thrones as it was, the Eagles game.
Game of Thrones beat until the last 2 seasons. That's when it was like okay that we missed an episode once here and there.
Yeah. Well, also you went to Europe for the final episode, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
But he got to visit where some of the scenes were shot, so
In
He
a
was still
way,
Game of Thrones.
Yes,
in a way, you were more Game of Thronesing than we were.
Yeah, you were on the King's Road.
that's very true.
Ed, overall, like your experience with Game of Thrones as a whole.
I'd say it was one of the greatest ever. Probably definitely my favorite show of all time. I'm okay with how it ended. I don't like how it got there. I don't like that a lot of things were left just like whatever. I don't like the way the war went down with the Night King. All that. Oh, we're building a war for 8,000 years and I die in 40 minutes. It could have been done, but the bad of it will never take away the amazing of it.
Yeah, agreed.
So if
Definitely agree with that.
if somebody tells somebody asks you whether they should watch Game of Thrones, I know because this happens with a lot of
You're
people.
fucking stupid if you haven't.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed.
But like, so I watched Breaking Bad, very late in the game, and people were always telling me I should watch it, and I didn't really want to get into it. But people would always say to me, like, you have to watch Breaking Bad, but it doesn't really the third season. Like, there's always a caveat with it. Like, so would you if somebody asked you, hey, should I watch Game of Thrones? Would you just say yes, or would you caveat it with it gets kind of fucked up at the ending, or you would just tell them just fucking watch it, it's awesome.
Well, first I would slap him from not watching it already.
Yeah.
And then I told him like, no, just watch it and let me know where you're at, and I'll chat with you. Or I even would watch it with them, and the whole time sitting there going like this.
Now, if that person was an asshole, would you
I'll
ruin
ruin it for him.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ruin it for him.
It's got to be hard to not know at this point. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah.
everybody kind of understands that the thing is that people die.
If you watch any talk shows, like night talk shows, they probably ruined it already. And
I would disclose that. Yeah, it's amazing, but the endings, man.
Yeah.
see, that would make them not watch it then. Like, oh, what's the point? That's why I would like say nope, not like hype it up, but just say watch it. It's definitely worth it.
I will
just
say,
leave it go.
Biggest things I've ever seen, but just like Breaking Bad's got a butt, Sopranos has a butt, Lost has a butt.
That is a huge butt right there.
On both ends.
I'll tell you what. There's a few butts on Lost.
I think it starts with an L and ends with a T.
We'll get back to Jin. All right, we'll get back to him later.
Hey. Shout out to Jen. I'm sure he's watching.
But no, I would absolutely say it's the greatest show. But
I agree. I would probably caveat it with something like that. Like, hey, it's the best show ever. First for now so far. You're gonna have a great time watching it. It's gonna get a little shitty at the end, and then I would tell them because at the end it got a little hard for the showrunners because they didn't have the source material to write from the book, so they kind of had to make it up themselves with bullet points that they may or may have not used. That's completely other whole bunch of discussions on that, but I would definitely caveat it.
yeah, but it's not a bad thing though. It's a very normal thing. I mean, almost fandom when it comes to shows and stuff. I mean, it almost can be very much like dating in the sense that you have this great relationship and it flourishes. It's awesome, but you know what? Sometimes it just ends, and it might not end very well. And maybe it ends perfectly normally, or perfectly. Maybe it doesn't. You just find out you're in a globe.
Anything specific about the ending that you were very disappointed with? Ed, you said the whole Night King build up was kind of ended real quick.
Talking about the last episode, or we're talking about the last season.
So we'll say like just the last story arc, like the final few episodes.
How Cersei and Jaime died is infuriating.
Right? Yes.
Absolutely infuriating.
There he is.
He agrees.
Every time I bring it up, my kid's like, I know!
Fuck was that?
Right?
And he shits too. So
Yep.
There's that after we talk about it. So there's that. Arya, I think, was pointless. I get Clegane Bowl, but to make it that big, like nobody was really on that train for it to be that big of a part of the story. We've already seen the Hound fall from flip and die. You know, it was nothing new, and I think it was complete fanfare. It was lazy. It was admittingly from Sapochnik, on their part, on Dan and Dave's part, it was bad planning and poor budgeting, and that's ultimately what cost them so much. They shot so many other scenes that would have been satisfying to the actual fan, but they just shortcutted and fucked up and just fanfared the shit out of it.
I actually enjoyed the Clegane Bowl. I thought it was very cool. The only problem I had with it was that you're right. It didn't really have any like it wasn't any kind of like plot device. Like it didn't really matter. All the things that were happening around it happened anyway, whether they thought or not.
You're putting that season on a clock, and you're basically saying, here's how much time we have, much content in. They just put that like on a shelf, like it was so much bigger than it really was. Like at the end of the day, Game of Thrones wasn't about the Hound killing the Mountain. It was a wonderful subplot, but it wasn't as big, and it stole so much of the last episode. It just didn't make any sense. There's so many things that just didn't make sense, and it was lazy and it was piss poor planning, and I wish they could redo it.
Did you sign the petition?
I did not, because I'm not an asshole, but I wish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with any of those points. The Jaime and Cersei thing was the whole Jaime thing with him kind of like turning babyface. That's a wrestling term for turning like a good guy.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden he was just like, you know, he banged Brienne and then was just like, all right,
I'm out.
I'm gonna go back.
It wasn't that good, so.
I'll bet it was awesome.
There's just so many things that weren't paid off and didn't make any sense. I mean, you know.
But then he went back to Cersei, which I kind of like. I like, you know, I didn't have any, because I always thought he was a bad guy anyway, even though he did do some kind of noblish things, but I think deep down inside he knew that he would always go back to Cersei, and I didn't have a problem with him doing that. But then, yeah, when they just like,
it's the way
just,
they did it.
And then they would the roof crumble on top of him. It was just,
Were they trying to do like the weight of the kingdom finally got onto him type of scene?
No, I think that was a really bad version of the Valonqar, because if you think about it, Tyrion sends them essentially her. So and they never really, you never really know which brother they're talking about. They're talking about Jaime, they're talking about Tyrion, and so it works both ways, because Tyrion tells Jaime, which sends them both in, but Jaime tells Cersei, which sends them in. So does Jaime kill Cersei, or does Tyrion kill Cersei? Even then, it's still a lazy way to fucking pull it all off.
Oh yeah,
but it might be their version of paying off the Valonqar, even though I don't even think they were even paying attention to begin with. It might just be coincidence. I mean, Arya's face changing had to have come into play.
not at the last season.
The only time they really utilize her skill is when they make the point of the wind blowing past the one White Walker and he turns his head. That's when you know she's using, she's ninja out right there. She's just Ninja Arya. But that's pretty much the only time that you really, her whole skill set is applied there.
the whole scene where before that, where they're kind of doing like the zombie thing, where she's creeping through like the library or whatever she passes. I think that was kind of set up to show off her ninjutsu stealth skills. But like,
But
man, like they made that whole
goes like the preceding episodes, like the finale, like
she went into town and then she was just like left.
I mean, she basically snuck up the stairs real quick and said, "Hey, John,
Yeah.
bad person. I know."
She's like, puff a smoke and go, she's a bad one.
Now,
And then scene.
Yeah, that was weird. Also, like they didn't use any of the face magic, whatever that was.
Yeah, whatever that was.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many things that were just left untouched.
Used it like one time to get it back with Lord of Frey.
I think that was
Like the only time she really do it. Yeah, that was the last time she did it. And then she just had these faces carrying around in her backpack like a weirdo.
Did she? I don't remember that. Did she really have them? Did she have one
because
Sansa found them or
Sansa.
something?
Yeah, Sansa.
Yeah.
The fuck?
She's like, those faces make me be anybody I want to be. But we're going to put them away in lockbox because I don't do that. That's not me.
That's not me.
2019, new me, Arya, new me.
Particularly, Sean, that you wanted to add to that, or was?
I mean, the whole Jon Snow story, it was horrible. Oh, great, we found out who he was, what bloodline he has, and then it was just like, okay, I'm going north of the wall. See ya.
Well,
Come on. Like, he has the king.
it does make sense. I think in the respect that he wants nothing to do with all of this stuff that's been laid on his shoulders.
Well, true.
And does it suck? I didn't want him to have to go north. And then you think to yourself, why would he have to go north? Because I mean, Grey Worm really going to be keeping an eye on him, this and that. But I guess there's a lot of people. I think when they have that in the Dragon's Keep, wherever they have their meetings at the end there, of people that were still supporting Dany, like Yara Greyjoy, Henry, I think even was quite a few people who still had her back. He made a lot of deals with them, so I think that's what made it logical that if Jon came back, other people might know, and that might break the deal and cause a lot of havoc. But I think for him, it was just kind of getting away and kind of going home, and he could have came out and said, "Yeah, I'm Aegon Targaryen," which would have been a whole thing. Would have been pretty cool, but I think it kind of plays to his being honorable. It's the best thing to not do that. His Ned Stark.
Now with them still being all about Daenerys, do they think she's not dead? She just killed a dragon, or do they know she's dead?
Oh no, she's dead.
So this is to be keep anymore. She's dead.
Well, it was the fact
there's no kid, there's no bloodline. You know what I mean? There's new king in the house.
Sansa got to keep the north. Now everything's kind of hunky-dory for everybody. So the best thing for him to do is just fucking bounce. He sticks around. You got a lot of people now in the north that made deals with Dany who probably fight Sansa and Winterfell.
I think having was that, like, for example, Yara, she with Daenerys, and she was hanging, she would have killed her, and like, is she supposed to just be like, okay, I'll just follow? So he was like, no, he murdered, sided with.
Yeah,
so,
and then
so it was problematic.
You got the Stormlands, correct?
He did, yeah.
So Gendry's got a beef there too. So if she's dead, what happened to his deal? And Jon Snow being honorable.
There was a lot of people who got killed in the last season of him anyway, because nobody has claim to it. You are a bolt. What was it? He wasn't a bolt. He was a waste of character. Baratheon, yeah. He was a waste of character anyway.
Without Dany, though, now that he killed her, anybody is capable of snatching that away from him. Title giving him with no backing. If she's alive, no one's going to forget. So his claim really could be taken.
They didn't really smooth out the politics at the end of the show. There was still a lot of things. And that's one of the things like that I had like the end was like I didn't like that whole scene where I kind of like Sam had that cool speech about how like giving the power back to the people and like basically setting up a democratic situation, and I thought that's where they were going to be going the whole time with that, and then suddenly they were just laughing like, no, we're still gonna have make all the decisions and fuck all the common, or even it's like I don't think it fit in line with characters that were a little more like woke, I guess you could say.
And most of it didn't. There's several interviews where the characters legit thought some of their main scenes were because they knew with the security measures they were taking, where they had fake scenes, where they brought the waif in. They shot fake scenes with the waif.
Right.
And so a lot of them knew that there was bullshit scenes. So when Bran was told he was king, the whole time they're shooting that, he's thinking, this is just a joke the whole time. Arya's sex scene with Gendry, the whole time she's thinking, this is just a joke scene. This is actually going to be a real scene. But yeah, these people playing these characters didn't believe that was the direction that they were going in. They thought it was disturbed, that there's no way to be real.
I didn't think that Sansa would be the kind of person that would laugh at the idea of letting the people decide who should rule and what some laws, who should make laws and stuff like that. I mean, basically, you could see Edmund Tully laughing at that, like, oh, fuck those common people. But like, I don't know, man. Like some of the other characters, I guess, like I said, they just seem like they were kind of like grew as characters, and we're realizing that we can't have this like elite power structure.
Oh, I can see Sansa doing that. I can see her being told a bitch about that. Seriously, look at the crap that she had to go through, and now you want to take the power away from her and give it to the people? She's about to take a weave off, take the earrings out, and slap somebody.
That's
not happening.
alternatively would have been really awesome is if George R. R. Martin finished the books and then they made the same show and they had his content the whole way and did what they did from season 1. And then instead of stopping and going, we're out of content, let's do it our own, they could finish the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Gotcha.
would you want that? Would you want that though? Like, say, like, what was it? How many seasons we watched? 4 seasons before it cut off?
It's hard to say that I would want that.
5 seasons. So it's 5 seasons, and then would you want them to stop and just wait for these books to come out?
I'm not saying, no.
I'm just asking. Would
I'm
you?
not saying stop in production. I'm saying is if it never happened. They never made the show when it first aired.
Gotcha. Wait until those like now.
From now, George finishes the books and then they do it.
No. No, they'll probably just reboot it.
Maybe. Well, they are coming up with a.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of.
Yeah, isn't it called Witch or something like that?
Blood. Clark Kent Stark is the
the name for it, correct?
Blood Moon.
Is it called The Long like that?
Yeah, that's what he wanted to call it. George R. R. Martin wanted to call it The Long Night, and they decided to call it Blood Moon.
Blood Moon. Oh, that's so weird.
Why the Blood Moon?
I don't know.
It's relevant to the lore. I forget exact details, but it is relevant.
It sounds like
It makes sense when it's explained.
We're waiting.
I can't explain it. Google it.
It sounds like a shitty
Charlie.
Rob Liefeld 1990s fucking character, comic book character. Blood Moon.
Blood Moon.
Yeah. Sorry, you guys aren't nerdy enough to get that. Yep. So, on that note, I'm gonna cut that out.
No.
No, okay. I don't know why you cut stuff out.
I'm gonna cut everything out that makes me look like an asshole.
So, Ed, it's just going to be him talking to himself.
It's gonna be, yeah. I'm gonna cut everybody out. I'm gonna see if I can edit your beard down a few inches.
Can't do it. Look at this thing.
It won't let me.
It won't. I tried.
Anyway, back to Game of Thrones. Yeah, that was my biggest thing, was the whole political thing at the end. Didn't make any sense to me. Or, I mean, it's not that it didn't make sense, it just wasn't satisfying to me. But
I mean, the other thing, too, was, like, why did she freak out? Why would she go dragging Queen on everybody for no reason? They rang the bells. They were surrendered.
They try to push home the idea that she's losing everyone around her that she really does care about. So, I mean, granted, Jorah's still alive at the time, but she loses Missandei. All of her support, a lot of people are just kind of going to the wayside, and she's feeling alone. And there's a testament to that, I think, after the battle at Winterfell, where she's like kind of looking around the room, and everyone's just hyping up Jon Snow, and she's just looking around like, "Fuck, man, I'm kind of losing my support here." And then she loses her dragons. And then she just flips shit.
Well, see, I think she lost more in, was it season 2 when she, after Khal Drogo died, and like she was just wandering the wilderness. That's when she had no support. She only had like 50 people with her.
that was season
And
one.
Season one, whatever. No, it's no. It's after she had the dragons. It wasn't at the end of season 1 to season 2.
Carl Drogo.
Kyle Drogo.
Kyle Drogo. He died in season.
Correct. So season 2, she's wandering the wastelands. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had nothing then. Now she actually has armies. She has ships. She's finally seen where the throne is. All she had to do was just like make them surrender, and then like kill Cersei the way the dragons do.
I know that.
I don't think even with the armies and all that, she wasn't getting the reception I think that she was hoping for. There wasn't this big love or want of thing for Arya, especially with the way Cersei's selling it.
Well, the way she won.
And again, I think all of the last 2 seasons, you can always follow it up with those guys are writing it on their own too. So
yeah, I always kind of like feel like I just because I didn't like some of the things, like I never want to be too harsh about it, because I'm pretty sure that those guys went into this thinking that they were gonna have somewhere to go throughout the whole time, and it turned out that they didn't, and I feel bad for them that they did. They had to kind of make all this shit up.
That's what he did, though. Give him a guideline.
Yeah, but did he? How much did he give him? What did he?
Yeah, but they capped the ending. They knew half seasons ago, if not sooner than that, how long the show was going to be and how many episodes were going to be. They knew before which was even done the next damn book. So, I mean, I don't think that's the case. I think that they ran out of content, they were tired of it, and I think they just weren't capable of managing that budget on that.
I mean, look how huge that was. Yeah, just for them to get all these places all synced up, like to all these characters, locations. It was probably a strain on them for one.
And visually, it was one of the greatest things and you'll ever see on TV. I mean, it was one of the biggest things you'll ever see. But
not a Winterfell. You couldn't see anything.
It was a little foggy.
Just a little dark.
I really think that they went, when they started the show, they thought that they were gonna have a full series by the, I think they thought that he would have the books finished by the time they would get to those points.
I think all the fans would too. I think like even you, like a book reader, like you are. You know, those people.
Yeah, but he even told him what he was looking for, what he was going to do. So the last season was supposed to be half. The second half was supposed to be A Dream of Spring, and then.
Sure, but he doesn't have stuff written, so if he's outlining stuff that he doesn't have written yet, who knows if he's given them he's making changes, or if he's giving them the right information, or even if he's kind of just throwing out ideas to see if they would do it, to see what fans think of it, and then he can change his ideas in the book, which I think maybe it has something to do with it. Well, I mean, it's going to make a lot of people mad, but I mean,
very deep JFK.
Yeah. It's like doing like a test, like a world test screen before you actually write the thing. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, man. I'm sure he would have known that was dog shit right out the gate.
Yeah.
Because it was dog shit right out the gate.
So I want to move away from the negativity a bit because I think we spent the last like 15 minutes kind of bashing it, but we all I know I did.
People still want to hear the right stuff.
Sure. But I just want to press the issue again that overall I think we're all in agreement that it's still a positive show. It's the best shows to ever be made.
Ever. Oh yeah.
Greatest show ever watched. My number one show of all time.
Sundays are boring without it. I don't know what to do with myself.
It's almost as good as Firefly.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's almost. Agreed.
It's quitting.
And he quits. There it is.
Oh, a light.
Oh hey.
Oh, cool. Hey, we should start the whole thing over now that you have that light on. Welcome to the Discord.
That might be better.
It does. It looks good.
You look good.
Thanks.
So thank you. I know.
But we're all on board for anything else that they do, right? Like any prequels, any sequels, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it'd be stupid not to, really.
Yeah. It's kind of like my methadone at this point.
All right.
Okay.
It's not exactly Game of Thrones, but it should still get me off.
I'm very down for prequels, and just like I said, because I've read a lot of the lore and the world, so I want to see how.
Yeah, I would love to see that stuff.
I just feel like with how popular. One of the coolest things about Game of Thrones was that when it started out, not that it wasn't popular, but it was more of like a. It was like a fucking West. I always say it was like West Wing with.
Dude,
what in the?
I was saying that I think season 5, I think it was when I missed it. I think I messaged you both and I was like, remember the time when nobody else was watching this like we were? Because all of a sudden everybody was on this shit, and it didn't bother me that I enjoyed that other people were enjoying it. What bothered me was all the idiots that were watching it now.
To spoil it before anybody else can watch it.
And or just the ridiculous fan theories.
Oh,
he's gonna end up being a dragon. Just stop watching it.
Gendry's going to be king of the realm.
So that stuff had been going on before, with the books and stuff before. There's tons of like Reddit and fucking.
Bran drew out Rickon's hunting plan.
Ridiculous fan theories. What I was saying that is like I had always described it as like West Wing with Lord of the Rings, like fantasy type to it. And I think that as it got more popular, they were trying to make it more of like an eye candy show rather than like. It's one of the reasons why I started, like, when season the last season started, they were almost kind of getting back to like the political drama aspects of it, which I enjoyed more than the bat. It was cool that they would throw awesome battle in there, like the Battle of Bastards or Blackwater, or what was the Castle Black battle. But surrounding that, I do more of the political drama aspects of it.
That's the thing. I think that was the heart of it in the beginning, and the way they were able to progress that and translate that into the action of it in the end of 2 and some in 3 and 4 and 5 was great. It just fell off after that.
Yeah, it was more visually stimulating and less I don't know.
You can say cunt. You can say cunt here, right?
Cunt. You can say cunt. Yeah.
No, you were saying cunt. It was a little more cunt.
All you want.
I mean, a little of that goes a long way.
I mean, it loses its effect if you say it too much, but. Anyway, we can end this cunt. So yeah, that's I think we can wrap it up.
Well,
I want. What's that?
I want to do we should get a kind of a March Madness episode ranking going. So each season gets its own episode ranking, and then we'll see which one moves on to other.
I like it.
We could totally do something like that, but let's actually see if we have a fan base first that would want to participate in that. Because right now it's just us three talking to each other on a phone.
I mean,
camera.
I'm up to 8,306. We got plenty.
I'm okay with
8,306 what?
People.
Gigawatts?
Oh, wait, that's the
Fucking
time. Sorry.
Grains of rice in front of you on a plate or something?
I don't want to fuck you up. It's 1.21.
Yeah.
So don't type in 8.
Pronounce gigawatts!
Yeah, you're going to do it right.
So, real fast, what battle was your favorite? All the battles.
See, Blackwater is my favorite, but I think the Battle of Bastards was the best battle.
Are we talking like visual effects or just like overall?
What you liked, whatever you liked. I don't think it really. I mean, we could go overall best battle.
Battle of the Bastards honestly was probably the best shot one.
Yeah,
It's probably the most well done one.
Yeah.
But Blackwater plucks at my heartstrings.
Blackwater is really good.
Blackwater had so many great scenes, like Tyrion leading the charge out to the gate.
It's so good.
And just the tension.
Let's go kill him.
Yeah. Like in the beginning, just the tension of them all waiting, and then you hear like the bells ring, and it's Tyrion.
But I wish I had.
I didn't do it.
I did not do it.
What a great scene that was. Anyway,
the Castle Black battle was really cool too.
I like that one. That was like probably number 2
because that was like Jon Snow's first I mean, as far as I can remember, that was his first moment where he was like, look, people were seeing him like, look, this guy, he could be a fucking leader. He's doing shit. He's being the hero that he's always wanted to be. And then they had the whole thing with him, and that was a great scene where Ygritte died, and just he does that sad brood face so well.
Yeah, the brute.
And then
he's Master Brooder.
When he sees her and she's about to shoot him, and he does like the sad smile, like that's just.
Oh, dude.
Kind of like
the passage in the book is actually even more like gut wrenching.
Well, in the book, they don't meet. In the book.
No, from what I read, there's a passage where she's laying there and he's holding her. And
yeah. So he goes after the battle. He goes out.
But they have the conversation about we should have stayed in that cave. But there's other dialogue involved that I thought was pretty good.
No, shit. I haven't read him in so long, but as far as I remember, he doesn't. I think maybe
I read this like a week ago.
Sees her, but she's dead. Like he goes like after the battle and finds her dead, and there's no dialogue.
Really?
Yeah. As far as I remember, I could be remembering it wrong, but
I gotta pull this up then because I think you'll like it.
Yeah, we don't have to do it right now. Let's just say that I'm right, and you can shut the fuck up.
Ed's right.
It's a whole podcast.
Of course.
He sent it to me. I just read it. I was just like,
of course.
I think the only thing I'm glad about that didn't happen, because I thought it would have been horrible, would have been if my man was all dragoned up and he was like, Jakar.
Well,
you don't need that late.
Yeah.
Top of your gear.
Just turn it off.
You can, because they're off buttons.
Oh, but we haven't done a thing where I say, thanks everybody for joining us. Nest.
And go, boom.
I think you just did. Do you want me to get Charlie in here singing? Oh.
Yeah, get him in, and then we'll do an outro. And then we can talk about whatever we want. So I can stop recording.
Quinn, Charlie, come here. We're gonna no troll. Oh, Charlie.
Hi, Kyle.
Charlie, come here.
Shut up, Sean. You're ruining my show. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie. Charlie.
When I
Land.
say hi, I mean
All right, Charlie. All right, Charlie. Get out of here.
That's enough out of you, kid.
Yeah.
This is our show, not yours.
Good job, bud.
That's awesome. I'm gonna do an outro, and then at the end of the video, we'll do the outro, and then I'll splice that at the end of it.
You do it like the Fox does with the lion, whatever. Whoever was that? Who was that?
MGM.
MGM. Yeah, there you go.
Probably have
Just
to
said,
if you want.
Which side?
You're dying.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the first. And hey, Quinn. Let's get a
Gratuitous baby shot.
Oh, I have a family. Look at me.
Hey, look at all the people, puppies and babies.
All right. Anyway, so we're gonna do this again, and it's not always gonna have to be Game of themed. Like, it's gonna be called Valar. We don't have to specifically keep toward Game of Thrones, but if Game of Thrones stuff does come up, I would like to do this. Again.
I think it would pretty much
How to change diaper realm.
We could also talk about other topics too, like pretty much anything we want. So I'm gonna get us out of here, and everybody, thank you for watching, and goodbye from the Dick Bird Nest. Hey guys, thanks for watching or listening in this case, and I apologize for the audio and some of the cutouts and drops. I'm still trying to work out the kinks of doing the side-by-side stuff, and I'm gonna try and work it out very shortly, so I don't have to do just an audio anymore. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and please like, share, subscribe, ring that motherfucking bell, and as promised, here is Charlie. Good night, everybody.
No, Quinn goes.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I don't think that's the situation. You want those markers in your